Milos Raonic was born on December 27, 1990, in the city of Podgorica, located in what is now Montenegro. His family moved to Canada when he was just a toddler, and he grew up in the multicultural city of Thornhill, Ontario. Raonic's initial exposure to sports came through his parents, who were both sports enthusiasts. His father, a former professional soccer player, encouraged Milos to stay active, and at the age of 3, Raonic first began playing tennis. Raonic quickly developed a love for the sport, and by the age of 8, he was taking part in competitive tennis tournaments. His talent was evident early on, and by the age of 14, Raonic had joined Tennis Canada's national training program. His commitment to the game became increasingly apparent as he began training intensely, and it was clear that he had the potential to become one of Canada's premier tennis players. Raonic's early success on the junior circuit was a harbinger of his future potential. He won the 2008 U18 Canadian National Tennis Championship and went on to compete in international junior tournaments, where he garnered attention for his power and natural athleticism. By the time he was 18, Raonic had already started making waves on the ITF Futures circuit, moving towards a professional tennis career. He turned professional in 2008, and his strong foundation in tennis was evident in his rapid ascent up the ATP rankings. Breakthrough and rise to prominence, 2008-2014. Raonic's breakthrough came in 2011, when he made his first significant impact on the ATP World Tour. That year, he secured his first ATP title at the SAP Open in San Jose, California, defeating Fernando Verdasco in the final. This victory marked the start of Raonic's meteoric rise, as he quickly established himself as one of the most powerful and promising young players in the game. Raonic's most defining weapon throughout his career has been his serve, often regarded as one of the fastest and most effective in the world. His serve, coupled with his aggressive baseline game, allowed him to dominate on fast surfaces like grass and hard courts. He continued to impress with strong performances in the following months, reaching the 4th round of the French Open and the quarter-finals of Wimbledon in 2011. These achievements helped Raonic break into the top 25 in the ATP rankings and set the stage for his further success. In 2012, Raonic's ascent continued. He reached the semi-finals of the Australian Open, solidifying his place as one of the top players in the game. By 2013, Raonic's career reached new heights. He cracked the top 10 in the ATP rankings, and his game was beginning to mature. He secured a string of impressive performances at key tournaments, including his first Masters 1000 title in 2014 at the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, California. Raonic's victory over Richard Gasquet in the final showcased his ability to compete at the highest level, and it helped propel him to a career-high No. 5 ATP ranking. Career peak and Grand Slam success, 2015-2016. Raonic's career truly reached its peak during the 2015 season, where he cemented himself as one of the game's elite players. The year began with an impressive showing at the Australian Open, where he reached his first Grand Slam semi-final. His powerful serve and aggressive play helped him defeat some of the sport's top players. But he was eventually halted by Novak Djokovic, who went on to win the tournament. Despite his loss at the Australian Open, Raonic continued to show his immense potential throughout the year. At the Wimbledon Championships, Raonic made a breakthrough by reaching his first Grand Slam final in 2016. In an intense and high-level match, Raonic defeated the likes of Roger Federer and Thomas Berdych on his way to the final. Although he lost in straight sets to Andy Murray, Raonic's performance was a testament to his maturity as a player and his ability to rise to the occasion at the sport's most prestigious tournament. Raonic's form during the 2016 season further confirmed his status as one of the top players in the world. He reached the semi-finals of the Australian Open in January and then moved on to the Wimbledon final in July. His ability to challenge and defeat some of the best players in the game, coupled with his consistency in the major tournaments, placed him in the conversation for Grand Slam success. Raonic's serve, combined with his powerful forehand, helped him overpower opponents on fast surfaces. His relentless work ethic and competitive spirit also contributed to his impressive run that season. Continued success and challenges, 2017-2020, Raonic's success continued into the late 2010s, though injuries began to take their toll. In 2017, Raonic dealt with several injury setbacks, including a troublesome wrist injury that sidelined him for part of the year. Despite this, Raonic reached the quarterfinals at the US Open, continuing to showcase his talent at the Grand Slam level. However, a series of recurring injuries began to impact his consistency on the ATP Tour. In 2018, Raonic made a strong return to the top of the sport, reaching the semi-finals of Wimbledon once again. His performance in London was a reminder of the immense potential he possessed, even as his physical struggles persisted. Throughout the late 2010s, Raonic continued to be a fixture in the ATP Top 20, and his power game remained as dangerous as ever. However, Raonic's injury issues continued to limit his potential to compete consistently for Grand Slam titles. In 2019, he faced injuries to his knee and shoulder, further hampering his ability to sustain the level of play required to compete with the best in the world. Despite these challenges, Raonic was able to continue playing at a high level, making it to the semi-finals of Wimbledon in 2019, where he lost to Novak Djokovic in a hard-fought match. By 2020, Raonic's ranking had dropped outside the top 10, and his once dominant serve and power game were somewhat hindered by injuries. Nevertheless, he proved he still had the ability to challenge the game's best. In 2020, Raonic made an impressive run at the Australian Open, reaching the quarterfinals and showcasing the strength of his serve and overall game. Raonic's persistence in the face of injury and setbacks demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the sport. Legacy and impact on tennis. Milos Raonic's legacy is built upon his remarkable serve, his aggressive baseline game, and his ability to challenge the very best players in the world. Although injuries hampered his career at times, Raonic's success on the ATP Tour has earned him a place as one of Canada's most accomplished tennis players. His ability to consistently compete in Grand Slam tournaments, including his run to the Wimbledon final in 2016, has made him one of the sport's most respected and feared players. Raonic's influence on Canadian tennis cannot be overstated. As one of the first Canadian men to break into the elite ranks of the ATP, his success inspired a new generation of players from Canada. His powerful game and strong performances in major tournaments helped raise the profile of Canadian tennis, particularly after his consistent showings at Wimbledon and other prestigious events. He also paved the way for younger players like Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime, who have since become top players on the ATP Tour. While Raonic's career may not have been defined by a Grand Slam victory, his numerous titles, including his Masters 1000 win in Indian Wells, his consistent presence in the ATP Top 10, and his ability to perform under pressure are clear indicators of his place in tennis history. His longevity and perseverance in the face of injury have made him a respected figure in the sport. Though he may not have reached the heights of some of his contemporaries, Raonic's career serves as a testament to the power of dedication, hard work, and the belief that anything is possible, even when faced with obstacles. As of 2024, Raonic's future in tennis remains uncertain, as he continues to recover from injuries and weigh his options. However, his legacy in the sport is secure, and his contributions to Canadian tennis will continue to inspire future generations of players.